What can we assume will happen? You know, they're getting more and more dramatic as one moves along.
As of yesterday, the South African government has decided to intervene, and they've given us an indication that they're hoping for a speedy resolve. They've given us an indication as well that they hope the mine bosses and the mine unions will come to a quick resolve, and it will be peaceful. Having said that, you already have a number of platinum workers on strike. Recall during 2012, 2013, the strike action that we saw cost mine workers 18 billion rand. That's because they were not working for a very long time, and this is something that's going to affect wages within the sector. People won't be taking money home. The question is it justified? And my belief is that the inflation data that we've recently seen, well over 5.4%, gives mining houses a sense that they're paying workers sufficiently high increases. The reality of it is CPI is computed in a very reckless manner. It includes anything from red wine to airline fares, and that is a disconnect with the average mine worker. So they should possibly have a larger leaning towards, let's say, taxi fares and school uniforms, which is probably more in keeping with the inflation that is felt by the average worker. I believe that the argument for 12,500 in a global context is still very low, but is something that we should aspire to. It may not happen immediately. I don't think mining houses will counter those sort of demands, as well as the fact that they probably can't afford it and may automate quite quickly.
Can they not afford it? I mean, because as we were chatting a little bit on air, we're seeing within all of this context, platinum shares increasing. We've got the rand at the levels that it is. So exporters, which is exactly what we do, are getting more and more money as the rand deteriorates. So, you know, in effect, it seems that the platinum miners are making more money. Can they not pay more to their miners?
It's a vicious circle because of the strike action that we've experienced last year and this looming strike action this year. What we've noticed is the commodity price, that's the platinum price, surging above the 1450 level. So on a net basis, you're seeing a higher commodity price, a weaker currency, as we've observed, breaching 11 yesterday, which on an earnings basis at least means that companies like AMCU'S are now making more money. So a recent report by AMCU'S gives us an indication that they've seen a very nice swing from negative to positive earnings, and so that justifies any sort of clamours for increase from wages. However, it's only because of the strike action that they are seeing this higher platinum price. The reality is that many Australian mining houses have already automated, and South African players have already threatened to automate. So this is another genuine fear within the mining complex.
Early indications, what impact is the strike having on the platinum sector?
What you've noticed is the platinum shares continue to go up as that platinum price goes up. A number of investors are confident that with the government's intervention that this might be something of a short-lived bit of strike action. The gold sector, which is very connected to this platinum strike, that has been stayed in terms of the of any strike action in terms of Section 23 of the Labour Relations Act. What the union, the Chamber of Mines has done is invoked an agreement that has recently come to pass, and that's really locked down AMCU, because they said the majority of unions have already agreed to previous negotiations, so you can't come through at this stage and decide to strike. So that's pulled the gold sector out of the picture, and the platinum sector, we now hope that with government intervention you'll get a speedy resolve, and most importantly you'll get hundreds of thousands of people back at work within the mining sector. Yeah,
indeed it is. You know, we talk about a living wage and the demand 12,500 rand. What do you believe? I mean, we were talking about, you mentioned the incorrect calculation perhaps of inflation, and I mean, I think you justifiably are saying, I mean, don't talk about red wine and airlines, let's talk about school uniforms and the basic cost of living. What is a living wage?
I think in this stage of South Africa's economy, bear in mind we've just breached 11 rand to the US dollar. It's going to cost you more for petrol. You've now seen record highs yesterday on white maize. So as cereal prices surge in South Africa and internationally, and as we pay more for imported goods and services, it's important that wages move in step with this.
Yeah.
There may be inflationary increases, unfortunately, but anywhere from 12 to 15,000 seems like a realistic living wage in current times.
And we're far away from that.
Many South Africans are not earning that
Not even close
level.
to that.
So you're going to see rampant demands for wage increases, and certainly arguments that are connected to an incorrect CPI are becoming more commonplace as people start to unpack the fact that we are now paying more for food and transport, and that's the very basis of inflation. I think we can also expect higher petrol prices. That's a very, very big concern, especially because it's not just a means of transporting people to work or school. That is how all of the food stuff and other goods and services are transported.
Interesting interview. Thank you for talking to us. Advocate Lavan Gopaul, Chief Investment Officer at Trademark Futures. 12 to 15,000 Rand should be what we should be earning for a basic